Hey, what is up, my gaming peeps, and welcome to another episode of Just the Facts with yours truly. Today we'll be discussing Dead Island 2. After almost half a decade of silence, THQ have finally opened up about the game. So, on that note, on with the show. So, as the E3 2019 schedule draws near, it's worth remembering that we're about to reach the fifth anniversary of Dead Island 2's first reveal. That's right, the Dead Island sequel was first announced all the way back in 2014 at the start of this console generation's life cycle. And now, as this current generation nears its end, the game is still missing. So this surprise information could tell us that THQ are in fact actually trying to push for a next generation console release of the game itself. But not only do we have no clue when Dead Island 2 is actually coming out, publisher Deep Silver has remained frustratingly silent on anything to do with the game for the last half decade. I'm sure fans of the game for years now have been doing their own little mini investigations into Dead Island 2's whereabouts, and fans still couldn't even figure out who was even developing the damn thing anymore. But at last, a new mini update on the game has arrived, courtesy of a recent financial presentation from THQ Nordic, who hold a stake in Deep Silver's business operations. But yes, so this is definitely where the real news starts, and will definitely have you on the edge of your seats. But before that, I mean, the first Dead Island game, okay, I'm going to admit, I never even got past the first bit of the motel. I always ran the wrong fucking way. You know, I never knew there was a door behind me. It's like, I just thought you had to run through the horde and just escape the horde somehow. But, yeah, you know, that was just a boo-boo on my behalf. But I can say, I've been frustrated myself as to the release date and release of this title, because when I hear about a sequel to a game, it's like, oh, okay, so yeah, I wasn't very good at the first one, but I might get the second one just, you know, because I might be a little bit better and more experienced. And it's been frustrating the fuck out of me that they've been just so silent. But yeah, as I said, this news will definitely have you on the edge of your seat, so here we go. In a presentation a couple of weeks ago, CEO Lars Wingfors or Winchfords, I don't know. Let's just call him Lars for the sake of argument. Anyway, he was asked about looking ahead to THQ Nordic's upcoming slate of titles. He very briefly and very quietly, like he wasn't even intending to mention it, said that Dead Island 2 was still being worked on, and fans should stay tuned for more info when it arrives. He also confirmed that the game hasn't actually been cancelled, and we'll learn more when Deep Silver is ready to share. And that was it. Ugh. Cue the heavy sighs across the internet and across my subscribers. Am I right? Am I right? But back to my earlier point, this tells me that THQ may indeed be saving and pushing the game for a next generation console release. As I see it, highly doubtful with this current generation coming to an end of its life cycle, that they release it sometime towards the end of that life. Unless they, of course, make it cross-generation, but with the PS5 and next Xbox being backwards compatible with their previous generation titles, this would seem quite doubtful. So, all that said, if you do actually watch the live stream back, look very closely at presentation slide number 15. During the live stream, and you can see the upcoming sequel has received a new logo. If you bear with me, I will include an image. So yeah, there's the image for the Dead Island 2 new promo art. It basically it depicts the original logo. It's just got a 2 next to it. So it's nothing too exciting, but at least it's there. At least we have that promo art for a new game, which does indeed give us hope, because developers don't usually release promo art for a game unless they are ready to announce something, like, I don't know, maybe a trailer or just something on the lines of that. But yeah, as I was saying on that, it does show the iconic cover image of like the Hangman's Tree from the original game, and it has been updated with the number 2. Whether this is a rough piece of concepting or an official update to the game's previous artwork still remains unclear. But it is perhaps a promising indication that Dead Island 2 has been, at least, we can speculate, at least evolving since we last saw anything from it back in 2014. We have seen this before if you think about it. We saw it early on in the stages of Days Gone's development. Days Gone was announced about, I think it was about a year after Dead Island 2, and the following year, it was announced at the following year's E3, and that game would remain silent for another year until the following E3, and then so on until we finally started hearing and seeing trailers for the game in mid-2018. So, that's a game we were all waiting 4 years for as well. So it does just go to show that these days developers are struggling with, possibly memory capacity and things like that when it comes down to new games. But with the dawn of the PS5 and Xbox Project Scarlet right around the corner in 2020, the open world zombie shooter doesn't have long to either release on current generation hardware or transition to the next generation to stay profitable. Fingers crossed that Deep Silver gives us more information than just Dead Island 2 exists, okay? It's we don't just want to hear from them, oh yeah, this is coming. This is totally coming. It reminds me of the South Park episode where they go see George R.R. Martin and they're like, where are the dragons? And he's like, oh, they're coming. The dragons are coming. They're totally coming. It'd just be a throwback to that. But yes, so while most of this episode has just basically been rumours and speculation, I like to think with what I've brought you from what THQ have actually said regarding the game's future, it does expand your knowledge and gives you hope that the game hasn't been completely forgotten about, and THQ still wants to give fans what they want after so many years of silence. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. It's exciting, isn't it? Being left in suspense, left wondering what's coming next after so many years left in the dark. So, do you guys think it'll come towards the end of this console's lifespan to be played backwards compatible on the PS5 and Xbox Scarlet? Do you think we will have to wait a few more years and it'll just pop on the next generation of consoles? Do you think it'll just be buried again for another 4 years? I mean, what's taken them so long to only reveal it's still in the works? Why couldn't they have revealed that 2 years ago that it was still in the works? Why now? Or do you just simply believe the game was halted and we've heard nothing because development just wasn't a priority for them? I mean, at the moment, fans can only speculate what is happening with this game. I mean, because as I've just said, why wait 4 years just to say, yeah, it's still in development? Like I said, why not do that 2 years ago, 3 years ago? With E3 drawing ever so much closer now, there is a possibility that they could drop a new gameplay trailer on us, or they could show the original gameplay trailer just remastered, like with more texture to it, with more graphical content, etc. And say to us, right, it's not coming anytime soon, but it is coming. Just to drop us out of that kind of suspensing vibe and give us a look into the future of this game. Because as I've said, I was terrible at the first game. I never even got past the hotel lobby. You know, that was very early days in my gaming career. I only had Dead Island back on the PS3, and I got a PS3 in 2010. And I think one of the first games I actually got for the PS3 was Dead Island. And yeah, I was just absolutely terrible at it. But a second game would really persuade me to buy the first game, try all over again, and then play the second, of course. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Shout out to all subscribers, old and new. Thank you so much for the love and support. We are now at 902 subscribers. We have finally smashed that goal of 900 before the end of the year. And seriously, it is all down to you guys. I never expected the channel to grow this much. I never expected it to be as popular as it's become. And again, it is all down to you guys. And I do plan to do an appreciation video on Monday, giving shout outs to all old and new subscribers. But stay tuned later today for the continuation of our Telltale game series. We will be back with Back to the Future episode 2 later on. And of course tomorrow we will be back with The Walking Dead. But yeah, on that somewhat disappointing notion, I guess, as THQ is still practically leaving us in the dark, this has been Just the Facts with Gamerdude. Happy gaming, and I'll catch you all in the next one, guys.